who warmed to the task on a bitterly cold evening. 3 tries to take the victory. Stuart Flannery, Bryn Ward, who was also player of the match. And Ulster get their second interpro win of the festive season. They beat Connacht by 29 points to 24 tonight. They beat Munster comprehensively by 28 points to 3. And Andrew Trimble, fully deserving of that victory.
I think so. Pretty good value for that result tonight. They were dominant start to finish. A little bit of a tricky patch towards the end of the first half. And once they got daylight on the scoreboard, it felt like they just really escalated that and lent into that, and the momentum told in the end. And Ulster really, they flexed their muscles tonight. Just a shame from their perspective they didn't get that bonus point. I mentioned 5-10 minutes ago, how clinical can they be? They weren't quite clinical enough. They'll feel like the bonus point was there for the taking, but that's a big performance. In terms of interpros, as you say, Ryle, Munster do not go out the gate, and they went out the gate tonight. I think that's a reflection of how good Ulster were.
Yeah, it didn't look like they came out in the second half, to be honest. That first half performance was a bit patchy at times, but you felt that they still had an into the game. But yeah, their second half performance was just so poor. Ulster ended up running away with it, and just the theme of the night, the past couple of weeks, too many inaccuracies from Munster, and there's so much work to be done ahead of Toulon, I believe, next week. So back to the drawing board for Munster, under par performance.
Can they fix those problems quickly? Because it lacked a spark, didn't it, Simon? I mean, it lacked a comprehensive attitude to all aspects. It wasn't one particular thing. Last week you might have said the scrum let them down, but tonight it was missing all over the park in most facets.
Yeah, it was.
Now, I know they were missing a lot of international.
Yeah, and there was 10 changes to the side, and it's hard to get a rhythm off the back of that, and you just feel that, well, I feel anyway, that they can make it right by next week. I definitely believe that, and we've seen it earlier in the season. That performance that they put out in Croke Park was the best I've seen them in a long time, and if they can get back to that form and get back to that level of confidence going into a fixture, home or away, I still think that team is capable of doing great things. And yeah, it's to the drawing board now. It's going to be a tough all week sitting on that and having to review that performance, but there's plenty juice left in the tank with those in that Munster team.
Players making their way towards the tunnel area as the crowd departs on a bitterly cold evening, as we're saying in Ravenhill. As they turn their attentions to EPCR and Champions Cup action, as Simon was saying, Munster away to Toulon next week, and then Ulster will have a Challenge Cup match against the Cheetahs that's been played in Holland. So no long trip down to South Africa for Ulster next week. Werner Cock will have been definitely part of the discussion around man of the match. Andrew Trimble, I'm surprised as a winger you didn't give it to him.
Well, there was a little exchange between Werner Cock and Bryn Ward, and I wonder if that's what the conversation was about. How she managed that.
James Hume, you can see the delight. They've taken a fair number of thumpings in interpros over the last 4 or 5 years in particular. Double for Munster last year against Ulster. This time they turn the tables, and rightly. There are big smiles on all those wearing white. Right, it's about time we got a little bit of a reaction from Ulster, so we get the opportunity to go down pitch side and join Paul Marshall, who's with Bryn Ward.
Well, Bryn, BKT URC player of the match, your captain Ian Henderson coming in now to present you with the medal. Hendy, if you could do the honourable thing. Thank you. Bryn, how much did you enjoy that one? It felt like a real typical Interpro.
Oh, unreal. Like, that's my first start in a home Interpro, and it's something I always remember. Like, that crowd tonight at the Affidavit is unbelievable. It's something that'll definitely stick with me, and fair play to the lads. It felt like we stuck in it for 80 minutes, and that's what we've been pushing towards the last couple of weeks, but I feel like we put in 80 minutes performance tonight.
Yeah, the Christmas New Year games are always exciting. Did you feel an extra air of anticipation in the air? You mentioned the crowd being sellout tonight as well.
It's more excitement throughout the week. Like we knew it was going to be a sellout, and then talking throughout the week, like you could see the excitement in the group all week, and yeah, we were just buzzing to get out here tonight. And you could tell from the first minute we were on.
And we've seen you have so many good carries in your games. You had so many of them again tonight. You got a nice try. You're starting to feel like you're confident, like you fit into this group.
Yeah, like it's definitely my part of my game that gets me in this team, and I just want to keep doing that for this club and keep getting the opportunities. I'm gonna take them as much as I can.
And looking forward, a couple of big weeks in the Challenge Cup coming up. A game against the Cheetahs in Amsterdam. You'll hopefully be involved in that and try and build on this win.
Fingers crossed. Anyway, yeah, be an unreal game over in Amsterdam. Yeah, big couple of weeks ahead, but yeah, we'll regroup over the weekend here and get ready to go again against Cheetahs next week.
You were super. I'm just going to bring in Handy quickly. Handy, this young fella's had some run of these games. He's been carrying unbelievably. How pleased are you with the team as a whole?
Yeah, like there's a heap of these young lads who we've seen over the last sort of year, 18 months in the background, and it's great to see them come and getting these opportunities and grabbing them with both hands like Brendan did tonight.
Handy, you look like you're shivering. I'm going to let you boys go. Well done.
Cheers, Marcy.
Thanks, lads. A consequential win that for Ulster in the context of both their league position, but also in the context of their rivalry with Munster, arresting a run of 3 straight defeats in matches between the two provinces. Stevie Ferres is with me pitchside. Pretty much perfect result other than the extra try bonus point, which really would have been the icing on the cake, Stevie, but considering where things were at half-time, Richie Murphy will be absolutely delighted with that.
Yeah, definitely. A second half performance was outstanding, and you know, you talk pre-match about maybe some players maybe throwing their name into the hat for honours with Ireland, and you got to say, somebody like Bryn Ward, his carrying ability is so good. He's so strong, so abrasive, so physical. Yes, he made a few mistakes, but he's a young man, and it's amazing how he's catapulted himself up the ranks. And with Augustus going to be missing over the next few weeks or maybe months, we're not sure the extent of that injury. You know, there's a big opening for him to really knuckle down, and I thought, you know, Cormac Ezechukwu played well the time he was on, but I think the halfbacks controlled the game so well, especially in the first half.
When you look at some of the players there that we're seeing, and you talk about some of those names, what's happening really now at Ulster is that there's real competition for places. And it might be difficult for someone like Ian Henderson, as good as he is, to make the starting lineup here. Ian Henderson, the Ulster captain, has joined us. Ian, first of all, congratulations. How did it feel finally being back playing for Ulster again?
Yeah, great. It's been obviously really exciting watching from the touchline for the last number of weeks, but we've seen the progress as I've been spouting for the last 6 months behind closed doors. It's great to see it coming on matches like tonight. It's class.
You did a sit-down interview with Big Stevie at the start of the season, and you were very honest about where you felt the squad were at and how limited your ambition was, really. Was that just you boxing clever, or did you know how good you were going to be this season?
Well, like I've been saying the same thing for about 18 months now. The young lads coming through are showing such promise in training. When they're not selected, like the quality of our sessions have just been getting better and better, and the way the coaches have been coaching us, and we're seeing that all transferring onto the pitch now, which it's as exciting for you as it is for us to actually see it finally coming out.
Mark Sexton, we had him pre-match and we were chatting a good bit, and he seems very thoughtful about everything that he does. He didn't give anything away about himself, but just a few words on Mark Sexton and what he's brought to the setup.
Yeah, like he brings a real clinical edge. He brings sort of a tone that guys know that they fully understand what he wants them to do. And I think when guys get that level of clarity and they get that sort of the information and that detail side of things, it gives them a real clear job to do. And when we have guys like we saw tonight, like Bryn Ward or Joe Hopes, Scotty Wilson, when they're given that clear game plan, they can go and execute that, and then that opens up all those spaces when they run those hard lines for people like Jude Postlethwaite, who we've seen explode this year, and then it's given extra space for even people like Jacob Stockdale to have his resurgence again.
How different is it from previous squads that you've been in, Hendy? You've been through dark days, you've been through some good days as well, but like, what's the difference? Are you rolling in every Monday, smile on face, just a real good buzz around the place at the minute?
Yeah, like we've had a good chat with a heap of players about this. Like, you know yourself, when times are tough, it is so difficult to drag yourself back and get the feeling good. So we're just thriving in this environment that like there's a good buzz about the place. Monday morning's good crack. It could be anything from having crack in the physio room to crack before training, it's just there, and there's a good bubble under the surface. Training obviously is still as intense as ever, but after that we still get crack about, which is positive.
Great to hear.
I was joking about you and your starting place, obviously, but it's a genuine enough question. There really is competition for places now across the board here.
Oh, definitely, it's class. Like we're going in. The back row is so competitive, and your guys getting frustrated about not getting game time. Top quality players. Like Dave McCann has been phenomenal for us, and he was really upset not to be starting tonight. And then you look at who starts ahead of him after he's been playing so well. But that's what you want to drive in a squad. That's what makes a really good squad that does really good throughout the entire season, not just for patches like we may have had in the past. So it's really exciting.
Just a word, Hendy, on the crowd. Obviously, the fans coming to Affidea Stadium. It hasn't always been sold out here over the last couple of years, but I think that's testament tonight to the rugby that you're playing on the pitch. It's brilliant to watch. You have to say, Ulster Rugby is probably the best team to watch in the league at the minute, and that's why they're turning out.
Yeah. Well, we spoke. It's been a huge talking point of ours all week. We love the fact that we had a sellout tonight, and we've really fed off that. And you can see the guys, as bad a night as it was tonight with the weather, you can see the guys wanting to still try and play, wanting to try and put on that spectacle to bring an exciting night, exciting rugby, and that's what we want to play. So look, we know that we've been guilty in the past of waiting for the fans to big us up. So we said tonight we're really going to try our best to lift the roof in here and let them give us what we want to give to them.
You've done a good job of that.
One final question, Andy, before you go. Another point that you raised with Stevie in that interview was that you really want to see more Ulster players getting representative honours with Ireland. Do you feel that you've really stepped in the right direction of that over the last few months? I know it's obviously up to Andy who he picks, but there's more and more people here have put their hands up, right?
Yeah, well, if you look at that, the Ireland A squad that went and played Spain, if that's any reflection of what the future of Irish rugby is like, we had a huge number of players in there, and I think that's massively exciting. And one thing that has actually frustrated me over the last few seasons is that we aren't giving those young guys that we're now seeing the opportunities to put their hand up. So, look, I really hope that the Irish coaching staff do have a look at these young lads and really see how they fit into an exciting Ireland squad going forward too.
Well said. Thank you very much, Ian.
Cheers,
appreciate
Andy.
your time. Congratulations, well done.
Good,
Let's head over to Paul Marshall, who's with a couple more Ulster players.
Thank you.
Thanks, Graham. I'm going to grab the big brother here. Zach, I have to ask you very quickly, how proud are you of your brother Bryn?
Yeah, I think I'm actually probably more proud of Bryn than as a team as we won that. That's massive for him. He's worked real hard. I'm just so proud of him. I don't really know what to say. I'm just really, really proud of him. I'll get a beer with him afterwards and enjoy this moment.
I have to ask, how special is it getting to play for your childhood dream that you dreamt about, and then you're getting to do that with your brother?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, we both have always wanted to play for Ulster. It's always been a dream of ours, and to be able to, play a massive interpro game like this at home together, it's really, really special. It means a lot to us. It's one we've been talking about for a long, long time, and to be able to do it now, it's really, really special.
And it's 6-3 at half-time to come away with the 3 tries. I know you nearly get in there at the end. Does it feel like a sense of frustration, or is it like, no, very much, we're just happy with the win?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely knew we left a few scores out there, and we get in on Monday and Tuesday. We'll review that and see where we could have made up for it. But a home win against a really good Munster side in Interpro is not easy to come by. It's really special. So we'll take the positives out of that, and going into next week, we'll learn on a few bits as well.
You were super tonight. Well done.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
The moment of the match in partnership with Select was JJ Flannery's try. Ulster's second, and the score that took the game beyond Munster, really. Bryn Ward added a third for the 28-3 victory here at the Affidea. We'll have analysis and more reaction when we come back. Great night for Ulster, disappointing night for Munster. Let's get some reaction from their head coach, Clayton McMillan.
Clayton, it was 6-3 at half-time. You weren't able to get anything going in the second half. What do you think the reason was for that?
So we've got the 3 tries, Ben.
Come up against a good side and just really produced nothing in the second half for us to get excited about. So, there's no sugarcoating over anything, really. We just never got our game going. We never allowed to get our game going. And got to give credit to where it's due, and that's to a good Ulster side.
It's a tricky time of the year. There's rotations. There's so many big matches coming. Did you just feel it was maybe just a bit of lack of cohesion probably was the difference?
No, it just wasn't good enough. Nowhere near the standard that we want to set. It's an opportunity for a number of people to put themselves in the jersey in the coming weeks and really just walk away with more questions than answers. So, not a great day at the office, but as coaches, we own it first and foremost. I think we've been a little clunky in our performances, haven't quite hit our stride. We've tried a few different things. Obviously, haven't struck the right chord just yet. So yeah, it starts with us. We'll go away. We'll reflect on what we can do better. We've got a 8-9 day turnaround now, so we really need to leverage off that to try and find the solutions.
It's another away game coming up in Toulon. What areas do you think you're going to need to really improve on?
Oh, right across the board. You go to a quality outfit like that, a performance anywhere near what you saw tonight wouldn't be pretty. So look, there's lots to fix up, but we've got plenty of quality in our team, and we'll bounce back. But it hurts to lose in that manner and not really fire a shot.
Thanks for your time, Clayton.
Yes, thank you.
Are you feeling sorry for your former teammates for Monday morning's meeting?
Oh, it sounds like it's going to be rough, to be honest. Yeah, that is not a place you want to be going in after a performance like that. But I love how honest he was. He's just straight to the point, nowhere near good enough. And fellas were given opportunity, and not one of them potentially put their hand up to get involved in the European fixtures coming up.
That would frustrate him most as a coach, I imagine, Stevie, that there's now not enough competition for places he will feel in that squad.
Yeah, I think he probably went in at half time saying, look, we're in with a shout here. We haven't played our best stuff. We can go out in the second half, raise the physicality, get absolutely stuck into Ulster and see what happens. But Ulster won the physicality, both sides of the ball. Then it started opening up a little bit. Their execution, their skill execution was much better. And you must say, Munster really did go out the gate in the second half. So poor. And there'll be a bit of head scratching going back down the road.
That's something we never say about Munster.
It's it's nail on the head, though. I'm a bit taken aback, actually, how bad they were. The more I think about it, it was as shocking as it gets in the second half. And I mentioned on comms, I think, that I just didn't think they came out in the second half. There was glimmers of what they could do in the first half, and how they can get into the opponent's 22. And, 1 or 2 errors left and right, but there was nothing at all in that second half. That was as bad as it got. And Ulster looked like they just dominated them. It was a bad old performance, and I'd be very interested to see now the team selection next week and who's going to hang on from today, because there shouldn't be any, to be honest.
Certainly not many of them, you wouldn't think.
Actually get the academy playing.
Based on his post-match interview. Let's have a look at how Ulster won this game in the second half. Munster failing to score at all in the second 40. Tom Stewart's try got them finally up and running, Stevie.
Yeah, he's a live wire, isn't he, around the breakdown, and we know how good he is off the back of mauls. Really explosive ball carrier, good leg drive, one of those fast twitch sort of athletes. And you could sometimes say, okay, he's got Angus Bell here outside him, and the right option is probably to pass it to him and get a great latch by Ian Henderson. 250 kgs coming through that little gap there, but he doesn't. He backs himself, and he backs his power and his own ability to get across the line from such short range. And you must give him a bit of credit for that, and he does it often. If you do it time and time again, you're going to get your reward. So fair play to him. He's captained Ireland A. He's a leader here within this Ulster team, and he seems to have nailed down that hooker position at the minute for Ulster.
It's just unfortunate for him that is a position that Ireland have ridiculous strength and depth. But anyway, he could be one of the people that Ian Henderson was mentioning have done enough now to really catch Andy Farrell's eye. Let's have a look at the second score. If that was route one, there was a bit more guile and a bit more skill to the second try, Simon.
Oh, there was, and it started at the breakdown where Munster struggled all night, but a beautiful piece of skill. The timing of the run, first and foremost, but the offload and the awareness, I suppose, to know that Flannery was on his outside. And I know Jake well. He's a great old player. I had time on the pitch with him at Munster, and he will enjoy that, running one in against his old team. But tough to watch if you're a Munster supporter, but they were deserving. From start to finish, they were the better side, and Munster have so much to do before Toulon, because that's a worrying old fixture.
If they play like that, Simon, against Toulon, and they don't come out in the second half against Toulon, the scoreboard could really rack up.
Could be 50, if you perform like that, it could be 50. They have stars on display who can, put you to the sword a lot quicker than that, given conditions you'll probably have in the south of France. So they need to be on their toes, and it'll be a tough all week.
How much do you think the conditions played into that, into Munster's attitude maybe in the second half? And if you make 10 changes and one positional switch and you have to come all the way up to the other end of Ireland and the weather's like this, does it not get in your head a little bit?
Yeah, but it's an interpro. It's a derby against Ulster, away from home, backs against the wall. You come together as a group. Like,
he sounds like Roy Keane there. It's a derby.
It's a derby. But it's true. Like, I don't think they'll use that as an excuse. For sure not. That performance was just not good enough, and they know they'll need to rectify now come next week going into Toulon, or else it could be way worse than that.
Yeah. Let's have a look at Bryn Ward's night.
Yeah.
Not only did he score the try, but he put himself about in all areas of the pitch too, Stevie.
Yeah, he did. He made a couple of mistakes as well, a couple of knock-ons, one off the pace of the scrum, which he was kicking himself about. But, you know, what I like about him is he identifies a bit of a weakness in the defensive line. It was Paddy Patterson in that occasion, and he absolutely steamrolls him. He comes round the corner, he runs onto the ball at pace. He's not afraid to be confrontational, in your face, route one, but he also has a bit of a jink there where he can get a bit of footwork on. He carries the ball a little bit too often for me in one hand and leads with it into contact, but that's something that he's going to work on. He's a really good ball transfer as well from left to right, using a big fend. So he is definitely, like, we're talking about Bryn Ward here. We're supposed to be talking about Augustus all season long. The big name signings come in for his ball carrying ability. I think somebody like Bryn Ward, has shown probably a little bit more than what Augustus has had in this 80 minutes. So I know I mentioned earlier on, Augustus is now out injured, so this could be a great opportunity, as selfish as that sounds, for Bryn Ward to go on and make his mark.
Could both Wards make an early Ireland squad?
Yeah,
a wider Ireland squad?
I thought Zach was brilliant as well. I know Zeebs would probably touch on his aerial game. Definitely needs a bit of work and probably his kicking game, but rarely does he kick because he's such a good runner. He runs the ball back at pace. He makes good decisions. So, yeah, and his engine, he just keeps going and going and going. Like 75 minutes when he made that break down the touchline, looked like it was the first minute. Just got pace to burn. So, good night for the Wards.
Let's hear from their head coach, Richie Murphy.
Richie, it's not often we don't see an Ulster try in the first half. Was tonight a case of being patient?
Yeah, I think it was really difficult. A few snow showers just before kick-off, and then through that first half, there was another big one, which made it very difficult to play. We still tried to. We just probably weren't arcing enough a couple of times, one or two passes going down, and one or two balls that we just didn't respect enough. So although we're absolutely delighted, even in the second half, probably towards that last 2 minutes, 3 minutes, we probably should have been able to get over for the bonus point. But 28-3 against Munster is no mean feat for any team, and we're delighted, and we're in a really good place there.
What pleased you the most, Richie? Certainly the physicality on both sides of the ball, especially at the breakdown in the second half, looked really impressive.
Yeah, defensively I thought we were really good as well. We kept knocking them back, kept good width. Our discipline was decent as well. So, we're moving in the right direction. I think it's really important that we keep our feet on the ground and just keep trying to improve. And the guys are buzzing now. They're delighted, and we change competitions now for the next 2 weeks. But we'll be looking forward to getting back into URC in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, you mentioned about changing competitions. Cheetah away in Amsterdam, hopefully a safe travel over to Holland, but it's something that you're looking to get stuck into this competition now as well. Cheetahs and then Stad.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, we were in a really good place against Cardiff and turned it over late on in the game. So it's really important that we go over there, put our best foot forward. There'll be opportunity as well because of this block of 10 games. You can't play the same team every week. So a few rotations today, there'll be a few more next week. And, it's really important that we just keep building on the success that we're having and keep trying to get better.
Yeah, and you mentioned the rotations, Richie. Bryn Ward gets a start this evening, gets player of the match. How pleased are you with the squad as a group, not just necessarily the 15 that takes the field?
Yeah, the two Ward brothers tonight were freaks, weren't they, with ball in hand. We're really, really happy with how Bryn's coming on. We've been dripping him in for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes in games, but you can kind of see what kind of a ball carrier he is. Devastating. He's still a lot to learn, could look after the ball a little bit better once or twice, but very excited about him. And Joe Hope's getting his first start I think it's his first start with us, but Joe's become more of a member of our our matchday 23s over the last couple of weeks. And Charlie Irvine, there's loads of these young lads are starting to come through, so really positive. And as I say, we just got to keep building.
We hope you do. Thanks, Richie.
Thanks, Congratulations to Richie Murphy. European rugby returns next weekend. Munster face a daunting trip to Toulon in their Champions Cup pool. We build up to that on Premier Sports 2 from 3 o'clock on Sunday week. We'll be back here for Ulster's next home game, a Challenge Cup pool match against Stade Francais on Saturday, January 17th. That's also on Premier Sports 2 with coverage from 12:45. And later that same day on Premier Sports 1, we'll have Munster's final pool match. They host Cast down at Thomond Park with coverage beginning at 5:15. And if the Challenge Cup goes as well for Ulster as the URC is going, they'll be absolutely delighted. My thanks to Stevie, my thanks to Simon for joining us, and to you for watching at home. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. Bye for now.